My name is Gaurav Agarwal, and today we are going to talk about binary search trees. In short, they are referred as BST, and we'll be using the term BST throughout this lecture for our convenience. So, the agenda for today's lecture is to basically cover the definition of BST, search, insertion, and deletion operations in BST, the time complexity and the algorithms to do these operations. Then the different type of traversals in BST or in general trees. Then we will look at a very special binary search tree called AVL trees. And at the end, if time permits, we will look through the rotations in AVL trees which are necessary to maintain certain properties. So let's get started. So BST or binary search tree is a rooted binary tree where each node store a key, optionally an associated value. So this is the example of a binary search tree. Now each node has two distinguished subtrees, commonly referred as left subtree and right subtree. In short, we are writing only left and right here. BST satisfy a very fundamental binary search property, which is the key in every node is greater than or equal to any key in left subtree, and the key in any node is less than or equal to any key in right subtree. Then when we perform certain operations like insertion, deletion, max, min, or search in BST, we need to maintain this BST property. So let's look at this sample BST. So this 27 is called the root of this tree, and this part which is in the left of this root is called the left subtree, and this part is called the right subtree. Now let's verify this follows the BST property which we mentioned earlier. So we can see 27 is greater than all the keys present in the left subtree, and 27 is smaller than all the keys present in the right subtree. So this node follows uh, the BST property, but to call a tree as BST, we need to verify that each and every node follows this property. So let's look at 14. 14 is greater than the left part, which is 10, and 14 is smaller than the right key, which is 19. So yes, 14 also follows the BST property, and we can easily see 35 also follows the BST properties. We do not need to check for leaf nodes because leaf nodes doesn't have any left or right child, so they automatically follows the BST property. Now let's see how do we perform the search operation in BST. So basically we start searching from the root node, and if root is null, then key doesn't exist in tree. This is the trivial case or base case. If the key value of root is equal to key, then we return root, and if the key is less than the key value of the root, it means our key might be present in the left subtree. Similarly, if the key is greater than the key value of the root, it means our key might be present in the right subtree. Let's look at the example. So here we have an example. This is a binary search tree. You can quickly verify. Then the 8 is the root of this tree, and the left subtree is consist of these 5 nodes, 1, 3, 6, 4, and 7. So this is the left subtree for the node 8, and this is the right subtree which has 10, 14, and 13. And the key we are trying to search is 13. So we'll start with the root. So we see 13 is greater than 8. So we will go in the right subtree. Then this becomes our root in our scope. So we see 13 is greater than 10. So again we will go to the right. Now we see that 14 is greater than the key we are looking for. So we'll go to left, and here we see that we found the match. So basically we will return this node. This is our answer. Now let's suppose instead of 13 we are having 12 here. So if we have 12 here, in the case if we have 12 here, then we will go to the right part of this 12, because 12 is less than 13, and we see in the right this is null. So we basically encounter this case, and our algorithm should return that key does not exist in the tree. So that's how search works in binary search tree. We can also make one more assumption, that the maximum number of comparisons we need to do is basically the height of the tree. Now let's say height of the tree is h, then we can simply say that time complexity of this algorithm is order h in big O notation. So it's just a minor point, but yeah, we should take care of time complexity also. Now let's look at the sample recursive program for search in binary search tree. So basically the function is expecting the key you want to search at the root node. Now there is this comparison. If node key is equal to the key, then return the node. Otherwise, look in the left subtree if the key is less than the root key, or if the key is greater than the root key, then look for the key in the right subtree. So that's how search works. And we can similarly see a program. Sorry, let me erase the erase this. Okay, so in the iterative program you can see we are basically running a while loop, and the while loop keeps on going until either we have found the key we are looking for, or we have hit the null node. So this also works pretty similarly. Now let's look at the insertion in binary search tree. So insertion process in binary search tree is quite similar to search operation. The only challenge is that we need to find the appropriate position at which we can insert the new key such that the BST property is maintained. Now start with the comparison of new key with the root key, just like we do in the search operation. If the new key is not equal to root key, then we will go either in the left subtree or right subtree depending upon the comparison. Once we have hit the null node, we can insert our new key value pair right there. And there is one special case: if new key that we want to insert is equal to some root key, then we are modifying the value associated with root node. So this is a in-place modification of binary search tree, and we will lose the original key value pair if we insert in this way. Yeah, but for all other practical purposes, this is good enough and it works well. Like if you need to modify this algorithm to handle and insert the values which already exist in the tree, then we will have to tweak this algorithm slightly to handle that case. So this is a simple recursive program for insertion in binary search tree. So the program takes the pointer to root node as the input, and the key and the value. So value is basically the information associated with the key. It is optional, like it might be present or it might not be present. So again, if root is null, then we make the new node as the root of the binary search tree. If key equal to the root key, then we update the root value to the new value. If key is less than the root key, then we know one thing for sure, that the new key needs to be inserted in the left subtree. So we do insertion in left subtree. Similarly, if key is greater than root key, then we insert the key in the right subtree. Now let's go through illustration that to understand how insertion works. Okay, so you can see here that we have a tree. This is the starting tree we are given, and which is rooted at node 50. This is the left subtree of this tree, and this is the right subtree of this tree. And the item we want to insert in this tree is 96. So as per our algorithm, we'll start with the comparison with the root. So we see that 96 is greater than 50. So we will move to the right subtree. So this is the right subtree. So this is the relevant tree for us now. So you can see that we have roughly discarded half of the tree, and that's how, and that's why it is called binary search tree, because like at every step you are kind of discarding half of the remaining tree. So you are narrowing down your scope exponentially, just like we do in binary search. Okay, so now in right subtree, we will compare 96 with 75, and we see that our the 96 is basically greater than 75. So now we will move to the right subtree within this tree. So right subtree is this. Now we see that 85 is less than 96. So we need to insert 96 in the right subtree of this 85. But we see that there is no node present in the right subtree of 85. So we attach the node 96. Sorry, this is 96. So we attach the node 96 in the right part of 85, and this is the inserted node. So that's how the insertion works in BST. Now let's look at the deletion. So deletion in BST is not as simple as insertion or search, because we need to maintain the in-order sequence of the nodes, which is basically we need to maintain the binary search tree property of the tree. So if the node to be deleted is somewhere in the middle of a binary search tree, then direct deleting can result in the tree not following the BST property. We will see how we can work it out. So there are three possible cases to consider. One is deleting a node with no children. Second one is deleting a node which has exactly one children. And the third case is deleting a node with two children. And all other cases are subsumed within these three cases. So actually there are no other cases left, because we know it's a binary tree, so there can be at max two children to a node. Now let's look at each of these cases in detail. So, okay, first case is deleting a node with no children. This is a pretty simple and fairly straightforward. This is the tree, and you want to delete the key 20. So now if the key you want to delete is at the leaf stage, then you can simply delete it, and it will not affect the remaining tree. The second case is deleting a node with one children. So if in this tree we want to delete a key 30 which has exactly one child, so 40 is the right child of the node 30. So to remove this node which is having one child, we first need to switch this key value pair. So we'll put the value of 40 in this node, and we will put this value here. So uh, once we have performed this exchange, this is something we will see. Okay, so once the node we want to delete is at the leaf node, we can simply remove it using the case 1. So once this is removed, we are left with this tree, which is the final tree. Now let's look at the final case. So deletion in binary search tree for a node having two children. Now in the case of two children, the process is slightly involved. So first we need to find the in-order successor of the node we want to delete. The in-order successor is the smallest key in the right subtree, or we can also say this is the leftmost node in the right subtree, and then we need to copy the key value pair from this in-order successor to the node we want to delete, and then we can simply delete the in-order successor because it will be either case 1 or case 2. See, the in-order successor cannot have two children, because if it is having two children, then it cannot be the leftmost node in the right subtree. So that's why in-order successor will have either 0 or 1 children, and both of them we know how to handle using case 1 or case 2. We can do the similar exercise using the in-order predecessor also, and in-order predecessor is the largest key in the left subtree. So we can do the exact same process using predecessor also. So let's look at the example. So this is the example. So this is a tree which is rooted at key 20, and this is the left subtree, this is the right subtree, and we want to delete the node 15. So what is the first step? First step is to find the in-order successor of the node. In-order successor is the leftmost node in the right subtree. So the right subtree of 15 is this triangle, and within this triangle the leftmost node is 16. So we'll first copy the key value from 16 to this node, and once we have done the copying, then we can basically just get rid of this node, and this is the resulting tree. So we can see that the node 15 which we wanted to delete is gone, and the resulting tree still follows the binary search tree property, like 20 is smaller than 25 and it is greater than all the nodes present in the left part of this tree. Same goes for 16, 18, and you can verify all of them. So we have performed this deletion by finding the in-order successor, copying the value in the node we want to delete, and then deleting the successor. We can do the exact same process using the in-order predecessor also. So let's look at that also. So the in-order predecessor is basically the rightmost node in the left subtree. So for 15, this is the left subtree, and the rightmost node is 12. So first we need to copy this key value in this node, and then we can simply remove this node using case 1, because in case 1 we have seen how to delete the node which has no children. We can simply remove it. Once we perform this, we will find that this is the resulting tree which is rooted at 20, and the left child is 12, and the remaining of the tree is intact. So now both the answers, the tree 1 and tree 2, are correct for deleting a key 15 in this given tree. Both of them follows the binary search tree properties, and we can go either way. So there is one interesting fact, like let's say we want to uh, delete. So the thing is, if we keep following one of the strategy, whether it is in order successor or the predecessor, we will be making the tree unbalanced again and again. So in this example, we see that if we delete the node 15 using the in order predecessor, so the height of the right subtree is already reduced by 1. Now if I want to remove 12, and if I remove it using the again the in order predecessor, then actually 10 will be copied to 12, and then this node will be gone. So this will become an unbalanced binary search tree, because one of the side will be having, let's say, this 1, 2, and 3 levels, and the other side will not be having any left child, which gives rise to higher time complexity for certain operations. We will look in detail shortly. Now let's come to the traversal in the tree. So trees are non-linear structure, these are not linear structure. Like in the case of linear structures like array linked list queues, we know there is only one way to traverse them, but there can be multiple ways to traverse the tree depending upon from each node which direction you want to go. And then there is one more difference, which is whether you want to go on depth first search or breadth first search. In the case of depth first search batch traversals, we finish the current subtree before moving to other branch. So this is our left subtree, and if we are traversing this part, then we'll first finish this one, then we will go to either right subtree or we'll go to the root. So that is the DFS based strategy. In the case of BFS strategy, we go by level order. So let's say this is the level 1 nodes, only one node 1 is there. Then this is the level 2 node, and this is the level 3 node. So if we want to traverse the tree in that way, then we call it breadth first search batch strategy. Now in the so DFS based traversals are more useful and more practical for the trees. So we see there are three kind of DFS based traversals. One is the in-order traversal, the pre-order traversal, and post-order traversal. In-order traversal, we traverse the left subtree first. Once we have finished traversing the left subtree, we visit the root, and then we visit the right subtree. Let's go through this example. So first we traverse the left subtree. This is the left subtree. Now within this tree, we will this is the root, and we will traverse the left subtree. So we traverse the 4 first of all, and then we go to the right. Sorry, after traversing the left subtree, we visit the root, so which is 2, so 4 and then 2. Then we visit the right subtree, so 5. And once this left subtree is visited completely, we visit the root, so then comes 1, and then we visit the right subtree. Only one node is there, so we directly put 3 here. So there is just a slight difference between in order, pre-order, and post-order. In the case of pre-order, we first visit the root node, and then we visit the left subtree, and then we visit the right subtree. Similarly, in the post-order, we traverse the left subtree first, then we visit the right subtree, and then we visit the root. So you can easily calculate this order, like by doing this exercise yourself. Now there is one interesting fact about in-order traversal in binary search tree. So if you give it a little thought, you will find that in-order traversal of binary search tree gives us all the keys in non-decreasing order, or we can say if the keys are different, then in-order traversal basically gives us all the keys sorted in increasing order, and it is very trivial that why does it do this. So in the case of binary search tree, we know that all the left keys are smaller than root, and all the right keys are larger than root. So if we are traversing the left subtree first, and then we are traversing the root, and then we are traversing the right subtree, so that's why it gives us all the keys in increasing order. Now let's talk about Abel trees. So we have seen that binary search tree takes order of height time for most of its operations, where h is the height of binary search tree. For a skewed or unbalanced binary search tree, it could become a linear time complexity. So this is one of the unbalanced binary search tree. We can see each of the node is having only the right subtree. So this kind of BST is only as good as a simple array or a linked list, because any operations will take us order n time, because height is almost equal to n, where n is the number of nodes. So Abel trees are special binary search trees where difference between heights of left subtree and right subtree cannot be more than 1 for all the nodes. So actually it maintains the balance between the left subtree and right subtree, which results in height approximately in the order of log n, and which consequently helps us in achieving the order log n complexity for all the binary search tree operations like insertion, deletion, or search operations, all of them. So here we have an example of Abel tree. So we can see for this node 12, the height of the right subtree is 2 and the height of the left subtree is 3. Similarly for 18, the height of left subtree is 1, height of right subtree is 0. For 8, the height of right subtree is 1 and height of left subtree is 2. Again, not a difference of more than 1. So this is an Abel tree. And if you look at this second tree, this is not an Abel tree because if you look at the root node, we see that the height of the right subtree is 1, 2, and height of the left subtree is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the height difference is more than 2, more than 1. So this is not an Abel tree. So that's why Abel trees are useful because they help us in achieving the logarithmic time complexity for tree operations. So that's all from binary search tree in this lecture. We'll continue Abel trees and its rotations in the next slide. Thank you.